What's up, everybody? This is Kerry. Have you ever watched these sports betting shows and videos on YouTube where the people say, well, according to my model, and wonder, what? Where's your model? Show me your model, please. Let me see what you're doing here. So here it is. What are we talking about? A simple NFL betting strategy. If you follow my best bets videos I've been putting out on YouTube since week 1 of the 2023 NFL season, then you already know what I'm talking about. In fact, here is the record as I show every single week. So far, for the first 11 weeks in the NFL season, my record is 50-33 for a 60% win rate, and I've won 13.26 units. So what the heck is the strategy? Here it is. Very simple, very basic. If you flat bet on strong and consistent trends, you may earn a profit. So anyways, what I do here is the trends actually look at the sports books and the numbers, right? The spreads, the totals, and so on. This is very similar to looking at the stock market and trying to find trends in the stock market. So really a lot of similarities there. And I'm going to show you these trends here and why they've been turning a profit so far in the 2023 NFL season. The first trend, home teams before their bye weeks that cover the spread. Now, I always give credit where credit is due. I got this from Ralph Michael on Wager Talk TV, Bet On It YouTube channel. Overall, this trend has hit 58.7% of the time with a sample size of 143. And what we're looking for here are percentages that are over the magical 52.4%. I've been saying 52.39%. 52.4%, if you laid a negative 110 juice, then you make a profit. So anything that's above 52.4% shows a profit in that season. Of course, 2018, it didn't work here, but all the way up to 2023, and I put a red arrow here because I just updated my data set. So in the 12 games so far this season, where home teams were playing before their bye weeks, they covered the spread in 8 of the 12 games. So in other words, you just bet all of these, you won 8 out of 12, or 2/3 of the time. That is a profitable trend. Second one here, underdogs coming off 20-plus point losses that cover the spread. And if you look at these, this is slightly better overall, a bigger sample size here. But some of these numbers are kind of low. I did not count this 2016 because that's right on the mark there. That was basically, you didn't win or lose any money in that year. But since 2020, we can see here, and including 2023, just barely so far this year. But this year, of course, isn't over. So this trend has a lot more potentials in the next 6 weeks of the NFL season. And so, but this is still profitable overall. So another good trend. Another one here, this one seems a little bit strange maybe, but I came up with this one by looking at the data and looking at all the games that have landed on these values for the totals. And since 2015 overall, this particular trend is at 58.9% of the time. A really big sample size here. And look at these last 5 seasons in a row. Very high percentage. And so far this year, just 10 of 19. That's fine. Again, this season's not over. We still have a third of the season left to play. So I'm looking for that particular trend, that percentage there to go up. And finally, trend number 4, divisional road teams that lost as home favorites in game 1. You know, divisional teams play each other twice a year, but then cover the spread in game 2. So this is one of those ultimate revenge type games. And this is a very high percentage overall, a rather small sample size. In fact, in 3 of these seasons, it was right at 50%. But because these percentages are so high in all these other seasons, I still like this trend very much. In fact, in 2023, this is hit in 2 of the 3 such games. And this is going to more likely be something that plays out in the second half of this season because this deals with the second game that divisional opponents play. So this is a small sample size, like I said, but again, I like it. I like the overall percentage here. Why do we flat bet here? What's the purpose of flat betting? I thought we were supposed to bet more on games that had a bigger percentage or maybe a higher probability of happening. And while that is certainly another approach and one that can be very successful, for this betting strategy that I'm showing you, flat betting makes sense, and here's why. Suppose we have a trend X, that hits 60% of the time. Most of the trends I've shown you here are at least 58% of the time or higher. And suppose we have 5 games in this particular week to satisfy this trend. Game 1, Game 2, and Game 3, 4, and 5. And suppose we flat bet again, just to keep it simple here so we can understand this, suppose we bet $1 on each of these games. If 60% of those games, that would be 3 out of 5, won, this particular trend was satisfied, then we won $3 and we lost $2 for a net profit of +1. Despite this being a low number here, again, this is just used to make the description easier to understand. Now, suppose that we had a model that showed us that game 4 was more likely to satisfy the trend, so we bet an extra amount. But as before, the first 3 games satisfied the trend, and I'm sorry, the first 3 games were positive, but the last 2 games we lost. Well, because we bet an extra amount on this game 4, the actual overall net here was a loss. We won $3, but we lost $4 for a net of -1. So again, this is a very simple description here, but the whole point here is that if we bet more on some games than others, unless you have a much more sophisticated model that shows you that game 4 is more likely to satisfy this trend and then win, there's no way of knowing. So if we think of these games as just all satisfying a given trend, and that's all we know, then flat betting is the way to go. So again, here's my record for the 2023 season, and this is all I've done is follow the trends and flat bet. And I just want to say here, I have built my own models. I've used machine learning models to predict points and outcomes of NFL games. And while those models are good, they've actually done pretty well. This particular strategy has done just as well as any of the other models I've built. So this is a simple strategy, follow the trends, flat bet, and it has been profitable for the first 11 weeks of the 2023 NFL season. So that's why I'm sticking with this particular strategy, and that's why I'm putting these out there for my best bets videos each and every week. Now, one more time, you can go with other folks, but I would, again, strongly suggest that you look at their record over the 11 weeks here and look at their win rate and see if their sophisticated models are doing better than this. If they're doing better than 60% and they're giving those out for free, then for sure go with that handicapper. But what I'm doing here for my subscribers and my viewers here is showing you a very simple system that has won at 60% and has earned a profit for the first 11 weeks of the NFL season. So one more slide here, return on investment. This is something that you would think about when you look at the profitability of any kind of investment here. When flat betting, the return on investment is very simple to calculate. Suppose we bet 1% of our bankroll on all of our bets. That means 1 unit is 1%. And assume we have the same odds. Now, this is not likely to happen, but most of my bets, when I put those out on my best bets videos, are -110, -105, maybe -115. I don't think I've had one bet above -115 for the entire year. So that means that the units won on a single bet would be this, right? 100 over 110, that takes the juice away there. And then the ROI, again, because we're flat betting, would be the total units won divided by the total number of units bet. So for my video so far, for the first 11 weeks, we've won 13.26 units over 83 bets, and that is a return on investment of 15.98%. In case you're not sure if that's a good number or not, that's an excellent number. And this is not a brag. This is not a humble brag whatsoever. In fact, I feel pretty fortunate to have achieved this particular ROI. And I'm continuing with this strategy here of following these trends. And we'll just see after 18 weeks where we're at. So if you like this video, you got some value out of it, and you'd like to follow along and follow these trends and see what happens, I really enjoy making these videos, and I really enjoy trying to find trends and betting strategies that work and make money. So overall, good luck, have fun, let's make some money.